The Reign of Fear, SAVAK's assassination of opposition leaders. In the Shah's Iran, opposition was not just suppressed, it was eliminated. Political leaders, activists, and even former allies who turned against the monarchy found themselves hunted by SAVAK, the secret police that operated with impunity. While arrests and torture were common, some figures were deemed too dangerous to keep alive. These individuals were marked for assassination, their deaths disguised as accidents, suicides, or unexplained disappearances. One of the earliest and most infamous cases was the elimination of General Temur Bakhtiar, the former head of SAVAK himself. Once a close ally of the Shah, Bakhtiar had fallen out of favor and was exiled. But exile was not enough. In 1970, while living in Iraq, he was shot and killed in a carefully planned assassination. The message was clear: no betrayal of the monarchy would go unpunished. The pattern repeated itself over the years. Political activists who opposed the Shah, especially those connected to communist or nationalist movements, often met sudden and violent ends. Clerics who openly challenged the regime found themselves victims of mysterious accidents. Students who organized protests were dragged from their homes, only for their bodies to be found days later in alleyways, beaten beyond recognition. SAVAK's reach extended beyond Iran's borders. Dissidents who fled to Europe or the United States were not safe. In 1976, Ali Akbar Tabatabai, a former Iranian diplomat turned critic of the Shah, was assassinated in his Maryland home. Other opposition figures living in Germany, France, and Iraq found themselves under constant threat, as SAVAK agents worked with foreign operatives to track and neutralize them. The assassinations were often accompanied by psychological warfare. Families of the victims were threatened into silence, while state-controlled media dismissed the deaths as either personal vendettas or natural causes. Fear spread among the opposition, discouraging many from speaking out. SAVAK wanted the Iranian people to believe that resistance was futile, that no one could escape the long arm of the Shah's secret police. Yet, despite the reign of terror, opposition did not die. Underground networks adapted, using secrecy and coded messages to continue their work. Exiled revolutionaries found new ways to communicate, spreading their ideas through smuggled writings, radio broadcasts, and international activism. By the late 1970s, SAVAK's tactics had backfired. Instead of crushing dissent, the assassinations fueled the anger that would lead to the Shah's downfall. When the revolution finally erupted, one of the first acts of the new regime was the complete dismantling of SAVAK. Agents who had once ruled through fear were either executed or went into hiding. The very force that had kept the monarchy in power had also sown the seeds of its destruction. Even after the Shah was gone, the legacy of these assassinations remained. Families of the victims never forgot, and the Iranian people remembered the cost of speaking out. The names of those who had been silenced by SAVAK became symbols of resistance, proving that even the most brutal regimes cannot erase the voices of those who dare to stand against them.